Paige Becker's maybe the most talented young player. Overall, she may be more complete than Caitlin Clark. And then there's A'ja Wilson, who's the best player in Vegas. So Paige Beckers was denouncing, quote, inhumane pressure on Caitlin Clark amid her 3-point shooting slump. Inhumane. So let me tell you what's going to happen in the WNBA. Get ready for it. The national media is paying attention now, and the criticism is going to follow suit. And you're going to have a lot of media jumping in, especially at the other place, pandering and defending the players to this sudden harsh criticism. Because the way it works in my business, more eyeballs, more opinions. And the WNBA just posted 180% growth in a year. So they're now relevant. So Caitlin Clark is not facing inhumane pressure. She is facing relevance and pressure. If you're Taylor Swift, if you are the Tiger Woods of women's sports, you are going to face pressure, and it is an absolute privilege, whether you're a talk show host, a star athlete, the #1 pop star in the world, or a politician. It is a privilege to face pressure because you matter. And so for years and years, the WNBA lamented. There was a lot of tears. We don't get the respect, the money of the men. Well, you didn't deserve it. Right now, the league's ratings are going up. Literally spiking. And you're negotiating a new TV contract. With the relevance comes criticism. And by the way, praise. There'll be a lot of praise. There'll be a lot of fluffy pandering at certain places. Not us, but that you'll get that in a lot of places. But this whole thing is that it's inhumane. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's if you are Caitlin Clark, and right now, I did this the other day. I said there's about 7 untradeable athletes in the world. She's #1. You can't trade her. I mean, even Ronaldo's moved around. LeBron's moved around. Okay, you can't trade her. So I thought it was interesting. Inhumane? No, it's not. It's just the reality of being relevant.
Okay. I mean, I think there's some confusion here. Okay, we're kind of having 2 different conversations here at the same time. It is absolutely a privilege to have this level of pressure on you, because it does mean you matter, does mean that you are wildly famous, successful, amazing, special, an all-time great talent, etc., etc., etc. But it doesn't mean that the level of pressure that she's dealing with relative to what other people are doing, it is inhumane. Colin literally just said that she's the #1 player in the #1 untradeable player. Like, that is insane pressure. Yes, you're talking about Tiger Woods and, and MJ and this, that. Yeah, the pressure was absolutely through the roof. You talk about Taylor Swift, like you're talking about arguably some of the most successful, most famous people in the history of human existence. And we don't think that that's like pressure? Like it is. If Paige came out and said the girls of the WNBA are under huge pressure or something, then I could understand. If Paige is like, I'm under so much pressure, it's like, no, you're under, you play professional sports pressure. Like, that's okay, like that's, if you don't want it, well, then it's like, then get a job somewhere else. Go sell car insurance or something. So like we're having different conversations here, because the level of pressure and scrutiny and intensity that Caitlin Clark is facing is insane. And it's okay. That's not pandering. It's absolutely not pandering at all. It's acknowledging that no other girl in the WNBA has faced what she's facing right now. And 99.9% of NBA players have not faced the level of pressure that Caitlin Clark is facing right now. It's just a reality. Especially if we're using like current, rankings of pressure or whatever within the last like 10 years, 15 years, like I would say what Caitlin Clark is facing right now is not the same level of pressure that you know, Lamar Jackson has faced, or heck, even Patrick Mahomes, quite frankly. You know, when you see Patrick Mahomes fail, you see a lot. You want to talk about pandering? You see a lot of people defending him and saying, "No, it wasn't his fault. No. What do you want him to do? He's doing amazing. You know, it's his team that's bad." Whereas like Caitlin Clark, people are just salivating. I mean, they built her up so much, they're just salivating to rip her down. They're actively rooting for her to fail. And again, the level of intensity that every single game that's played against her is just through the roof. It's absolutely through the roof. So, I mean, I think we can acknowledge the insane pressure that she is under. We can also acknowledge that, yeah, it's a gift. That it is a gift. And I will take her level of pressure in life over mine any day of the week. You know, like give me that opportunity to literally put an entire professional league on my back. Put me in, coach. I am ready to play. So again, there's no tears, you know, shedding from my part. But we could still be honest about the discussion here. We could still be honest about it all. I mean, I do love what the coach for the Boston Celtics said one time when they were asking him, like, "Oh, Jason Tatum is like, you know, facing scrutiny or whatever," and he's like, "Well, he gets to." He gets to face that scrutiny because it's an absolute privilege that people are even talking about Jason Tatum, that they even remotely care about Jason Tatum, because there's a lot of people out in this world that nobody even knows exist. So just the sheer fact that he's even relevant to the world is a big deal, and in a positive light as well. So I totally get that, and I totally, appreciate that, and that is a big part of how I view the sports world as well. Like, I'm always quick to call out when athletes want to play victim, because it's like, bro, you get paid like $200 million. They're always crying, "Oh, this team was trying to trade me." Brandon Ayuk recently, I made a video on my football channel, JWL Sports, where he was crying about him trying to be traded. And it's like, you're getting paid an insane amount of money. That's part of it. That's part of this whole thing. I'm going to pay you over $100 million, and at any moment, we could decide to trade you. But like, talking about the pressure that Caitlin Clark is under, that it's okay to acknowledge that. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying we shouldn't put pressure on her or that we need to like stop and this. Like, I'm not saying that either. But we could still acknowledge what she's dealing with and what she has to overcome, especially is A'ja Wilson under this amount of pressure? Colin just said that A'ja Wilson is the best basketball player in the WNBA. Is she dealing with this level of pressure? Absolutely, positively not. It's not even up for debate. It's not even up for debate. Colin just said that Paige is a more complete player than Caitlin Clark. Is she dealing with any of this pressure? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So on a scale of pressure for all-time athletes, Caitlin Clark is dealing with insane pressure. It's why I respect LeBron James, and I've been critical of LeBron James over the years. Absolutely. But when push comes to shove, when you see a lot of these other players crumble, do crazy stuff off the court, getting in trouble, Ja Morant, just doing crazy stuff, LeBron James was tagged as to be like the greatest to ever walk this earth. Realistically, when he was like 17, turning 18, and then going into the NBA, and he never fumbled that. Like, that is incredibly impressive. It's more impressive that he didn't just be a young, dumb 18-year-old and just really make plenty of mistakes. And the fact that he never did that. He never did that. You can't really look back in like 2007 and see like a crazy moment where LeBron's like out at a club, like doing somewhere. You're just like, oh my God, I can't believe he was associated with that guy and did that thing. And the police were that. Like, it's like never, it just like doesn't exist. It exists for a lot of other people out there, but not LeBron. And I'm more impressed by that than any of the other stuff that he's done on the court, because it is pretty remarkable. And Caitlin Clark is dealing with just insane levels of pressure. It's okay to accept that. It's okay to acknowledge that. It's okay to even have compassion for that. It doesn't mean that you're pandering. It doesn't mean that you know, that we're gonna try to call for now less pressure or give these girls a break or something, because it's like, no, that is part. It's part of it, you know. And I see a lot of the stuff that I do is like I am constantly in balance of trying to figure out when it's time to hold an athlete accountable for their performance on the court, off the court, even maybe, but you typically on the field and on the court, and when it's time to kind of defend them, when it's time to kind of be like, well, was it really their fault? What's going on here, etc., etc. And which is why even in my breakdowns for Caitlin Clark, I've always been twofold. It's always been like a two-prong approach where I'm just like, listen, this is why Caitlin Clark has been struggling. Here are the things that are out of her control and the things that need to be done, whether it's because of the team, the league, whatever. And here are the things that Caitlin Clark needs to do. It's like, Caitlin Clark, you need to do X, Y, and Z. You deserve some responsibility for some of your failures. And it'll continue throughout her entire career. It's a combination between when do we defend you and when do we criticize you. You got to have both. It can't be just 100% one direction or the other. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to take a look at some of the other conversations around the other media landscapes. It's kind of difficult for me because some of it is so brutal to get through, quite frankly. It's just tough to stomach. So I've kind of shied away from it, but I can start doing deeper dives into some of these other clips and these other takes around on, you know, any of the other networks out there and whatnot. But I typically like to stick around with FS1, you know, first things first, the herd and whatnot, just because I do like it best. I find it the most entertaining personally. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm gonna see some examples of like the pandering that he's talking about. That's because I know what he means in terms of football and some of these other takes, and even with the NBA, I guess too as well. But I'm just like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of where the pandering will be towards Caitlin Clark in terms of the amount of pressure that she's facing. That's what's throwing me for a loop. But he did say the quiet part out loud. The WNBA did not deserve respect until Caitlin Clark. You can bet that I'm making that the title of this video. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Caitlin Clark and the amount of inhumane pressure that she is under? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.